Get everything you need in as fast as 30 minutes. Oh My Genie Ultra Fast is an AI-enabled last-mile delivery technology that aims to solve the 1 peso trillion losses in online and e-commerce retail space in the Philippines. OMG is also part of the IdeaSpace Accelerator Program Cohort 9 and has received a grant from DOST PCIEERD for the merit and novelty of their tech. Enrique Juan is Chief Marketing Genie and Officer at Oh My Genie. So hello Enrique, we're very happy and honored to have you. Finally, we have someone from Cebu dito sa Startup Podcast.
Yeah, hi Johnny, and to everyone listening, mayong gabi ninyo tanan from Cebu. And of course, thank you for having us. We're very excited for this podcast interview.
Yes, we're very excited to learn more about these genies. So simulan na natin. Ano nga ba ang Oh My Genie?
Well, Oh My Genie, as you mentioned earlier, we are an AI-enabled last mile technology provider for logistics company, and we specialize in the automation of the processes. So we're looking to change things, how cities are going to operate. So we would love to build 30-minute cities. Everything that you need can be available to you, no matter what it is, fast as 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's very interesting now. Maybe AI-enabled or AI-powered. Maybe yung last mile delivery services, you can make it 30 minutes nga with the help of automation, of technology, and other developments that you're building. Especially you've recently got nga the grant from the OST PCIEERD. Pero let's go muna sa story. Parang, paano nga ba nagsimula ang delivery service ni Oh My Genie? Ano yung parang hugot or parang pinanggalingan talaga nito?
Well, you see, things are changing, how families live, how young professionals live. We are we're sort of like having a populations becoming more discerning about how they spend their time. So you would like to be able to hang out with your friends, family, have some hobbies, all these things, right? So we realize that a lot of the commute and your transport are usually wasted in having to move from one place to another, right? So imagine just being at the beach and then you were having some nice wine and enjoying the sunset, and you run out with wine, so you just get another bottle and get delivered to you. It could be as quick as like having the need. Our CEO and our COO Anna Michelle and Carl, the CEO, they're married and they have children, and sometimes the kids need school supplies, and it's always last minute, so instead of having to drive out and pick it up yourselves, parents like themselves could always just get stuff delivered to them.
Yes, basically spend more time maybe with your family, with your loved ones.
Yes.
So like for example, ito ang iyong bahay, ito ang iyong workplace. And maybe ito yung like, let's say supermarket or the store. Imbes na pupunta ka pa from the workplace to the supermarket to your home para bumili ng kung anumang minsan maliit na bagay lang eh. You can go directly from home to workplace lang, so mas madali siya.
Yes,
Pero was this brought about by the pandemic? I just want to ask about that kasi nung pandemic marami sa atin parang hindi makalabas ng bahay.
That's right. Well, OMG was a little bit earlier than the pandemic. We were able to launch the beta version in 2018, middle of 2018, and I think we were already there when everything was still not, like everyone else was still not ready and available, So I guess we had the right foresight for things. In fact, I was able to share it in a separate interview with a different podcast that months before the lockdown happened, we had some strategic planning activity with our team, and one of the case scenarios that we took up was what if people will be locked in their houses? What if we're not able to cross, people are not able to pass through roads because there might have been a disaster or something like that. So that allowed us to prepare, for the event. And so we had about almost 2 years of preparation. So when the lockdown happened, we were able to serve the Cebuano community immediately.
Yeah, so maybe in these situations, foresight is key nga, basically guess what will happen in the market and the economy in the near future. And you'll get that market. You'll maybe win the competition or anything. Let's go to the genius now. So let's see how this really happens and maybe how AI plays into this. So ano ba itong mga shopping genie na to? So how does this work basically? How does Oh My Genie ultra fast basically work?
Well, you have the first experience, right? If you're able to shop online and add things on your cart, we fulfill the order that way. In the event that there would be someone who would one request for a personal shopper, so we can provide them with a shopping genie. And the second part is like when items are not there, it's not available. So our shopper genies also reach out to them and take care of their needs. So we suggest, or the genies suggest, replacements, or also provide recommendations just in case maybe they forgot the things that they need na might or would have been most likely something that they would also need. So it's like that having it's like having a personal butler or shopper talaga.
So basically, these genies will fulfill your command when you want to buy something. Pero meron naman
Yeah,
parang like
correct.
concepts or principles. I know that you deliver in 30 minutes Pero parang what's the overarching concept or principle for these genies when delivering the service? I'm just curious about that.
What was that again? If it was the over
Like the overarching principle, like maybe is it like the
Hmm.
speed, the efficiency, or maybe like yung convenience
Actually
really that
the
you bring to the people,
Actually, the
quality.
quality, yeah,
Mm.
definitely the quality, and I think with the quality that really encapsulates the entire experience altogether, right? So um, we always get positive feedback on the way we communicate with our clients, the kind of suggestions we come up with, um, and the kind of familiarity that we carry out in terms of like when we're communicating to the clients, we make them feel that we already know them. Um, that way, they feel also like they're getting a level of service that might be very premier or premium, yeah, if I can say that, yeah, something like so.
Yeah, so the genies are actually butlers nga, no? Parang really professional butlers. Just to get a picture for our listeners especially, ano ba yung mga products or parang items na usually pinapabili sa mga genies? Like, or maybe what's also the range? Parang pwede ba in supermarkets, in sari-sari stores, in any store, hardware, anything? So is it basically anything?
Most of the stores that we've partnered with are supermarkets and major retail brands. In 2020, we actually partnered with SM, so the super malls. We were nested inside the malls, and their online orders were actually routed to us. So we were like their back and fulfillment partner. And again, the imagine just whatever store that's available in the mall is actually also available through us. Yeah. So the range, yeah, imagine just like having a virtual shopping center for yourself and brands that you're very familiar with, brands that you already know and trust. So yun yung, I think, another major edge of OMG compared to whatever was available in the market during the time.
Yeah, so basically anything that you can buy, possibly pwedeng ang
As
bilhin.
long as it's legal, Johnny, yes.
Yeah, of course. You should mention that. Thank you for mentioning
Yeah.
that. So ito mga genie ba na ito ay like nakatambay or something sa mga supermarkets, and then once merong order na dadating. And by the way, how does the order get processed? Parang does it happen in the website, in the web app, or is there also a mobile app?
It's really a mix, no? But most of the process is really automated and through the digital platform. So that's where the customers or the clients send their orders. And come the time when we are communicating on the shopping day itself, that's when they would typically add other items. If the items are available on the site, we just tell them to repeat the process of ordering online. If it isn't there, then the shopping service is also done through communication channels that they prefer. It could be through email, text, or through messengers. Yeah.
I'm also curious, since you're the CMO or CMG, Chief Marketing Genie or Chief Marketing Officer, usually who are these people that want to avail service of the shopping genies? Parang what's the usual demographics? Maybe are they parents? Are they work from home parents? Or maybe they are call center agents? Kasi I know there's some time before na parang nagkaroon ng idea na call centers will partner with supermarkets para yung mga call center agents or workers hindi na kailangang dumaan pa nga sa supermarket. Pwedeng i-deliver na mismo sa call center. So meron din magandang aspect ito.
Right. We actually took that path when we started. That's why we're also able to build a good customer base with people who are working in the BPO industry. And like what you said, young families that are very familiar or used to shopping stuff online. And they could also be people that are running small businesses. So instead of like hiring someone to do the errands for them, it could be that. And interestingly, we also had some customers that are the ones you can consider as senior citizens. And then siguro lastly, OFWs who would shop for family members here in Cebu. So those kind. And
Sorry, can you...
yung mga OFWs that have family and loved ones here.
Yung
Yeah.
papabili ng OFW to their
Yes.
family.
And then yung mga corporate accounts or clients for gifting nila. Yeah. We also cater to that market. Yeah. So it's interesting that we have a very good mix of customer base and it's wide that way. Yeah. If we wish to really serve them better, we really translated to go ahead and make the 30-minute delivery service possible for them.
Yeah, actually, it's very broad nga, ano. Now, I want to ask, how did you come up with the term Genie? I want to ask about the branding or like the marketing approach of this. Bakit Genie? I mean, it's a very like comical and parang very entertaining term, ano. So, why use Genie?
When we started, we were Oh My Grocery. It was still OMG, focusing on the grocery. And as we moved along, the first 6 months, we realized that our customers are always asking beyond the grocery. So what can we come up with, right? What can be the more fitting term to provide the customers or the clients of their needs? And that would be a Genie, yeah. So we immediately, in 2019, first quarter, renamed the company that.
Yes, I actually am aware that Oh My Genie is actually called Oh My Grocery PH before. Pero ito pala yung story, ano. Maybe it's part of the pivoting, especially that's very usual with startups, ano. Parang rediscovering who your niche really is or rediscovering really your product or service or what you can really give to the people. So it comes maybe nga along with it yung change in the name kasi that's how also you sell yourself to the possible people pa in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go muna sa story ng Oh My Genie. So you've mentioned nga that this was pre-pandemic and before it was Oh My Grocery na naging Oh My Genie. Pero how did the company start really? Maybe you can share also about the co-founders. Parang paano ba nag-come together itong mga ito to build this startup in Cebu?
So si Carl, the CEO, and si Anna Mitch, the COO, they already started a company even before OMG, and it was focusing on two things. One, for Carl, it's really on the retail industry, and major retail groups are using his software. And for Anna Mitch, she was able to launch a portal for State University here in Cebu for what they call it, for a master's program, which is used, by the way, by more than 20 countries, or able to enroll students from more than 20 countries around the world. When they're looking for a new venture, they were able to reduce and zero in on providing a delivery service with groceries. And during the time, since it wasn't long after before I moved back, they invited me to look into their business idea, and I actually joined them as a consultant in the beginning because Anna Mitch was my college schoolmate. Yes, and I also met Carl there, and during the time they just started dating. So it's really a friendship of more than 20 years now.
Wow, so it's very nice to hear that, ano. So parang you were friends before and nagkaroon ng business opportunity, ng business venture, and now you're working together. And recently nga, you joined IdeaSpace Accelerator Program Cohort 9. So I think dito nyo rin nabuo yung inyong newest product, maybe yung principle also na using AI to deliver the product in 30 minutes. Ano. So basically, how was the experience with IdeaSpace? And especially, I want to ask kasi, you're from Cebu, and this was during the pandemic. Ano, so maybe it was all online. So how was the overall experience with IdeaSpace?
Well, we were very happy to be part of the Cohort 9. It was very diverse and cool group of tech startup founders, right? We're all doing amazing things all together. And we had a good mix of participants from Visayas and Mindanao as well. This was the cohort that had the chance to invite more tech startup founders outside of Metro Manila, just because this time the program was done 90% online. Yeah, so we learned a lot from IdeaSpace Cubo. During that experience, you were able to have peer-to-peer learning, and we went through a lot of workshops with different industry experts, not just in the Philippines but other parts of the world. And it also helped us narrow down on who we want to be and how we would want to operate our business, at least for the next 5 to 10 years. So it was such a humbling experience as well, because you get a lot of very objective um, comments on what you're doing and what's to become of your startup. That way, it also taught us to really go for what's going to work than as opposed to going just with your feelings. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's actually true, no? Be objective. Kasi usually some startups parang usually it started lang as a hobby. Maybe you just want to try. Pero
Oo.
when you have that opportunity, parang you can grasp it, and you should really be serious and critical and objective about it. Parang tough love, kumbaga. Really, 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 I mean, pwede natin isang tabi muna ang ating mga emosyon at talagang i-build muna natin ang startup. I mean, take in the pain, take in all the criticisms, pero it's all for the startup naman and
That's right.
hopefully for building the product and the technology and the people that we will get to serve in the future. Thankful din tayo, no, with IdeaSpace, and kasi we got connected with you. You're actually the first one we interview from Cebu. And you're actually one of the biggest startups in Cebu. So, may I ask lang, how is the startup ecosystem in Cebu? I'm really curious about it. This is the first time I'll get insights from a startup from Cebu. So, parang how also are, not just the ecosystem, but like the people, parang how was the acceptance or parang the perception of people with Oh My Genie as a startup? Kasi usually when there's a new technology, when there's a new startup, medyo careful pa yung mga tao, hindi basta-basta yung bibili or mag-a-avail or mag-try. So, what do you have to say about this?
Yeah. Well, there has been a mapping that was done very recently. It shows that Cebu is still in infancy stage, but in terms of tech startups, but there's an upside. Talent is already beyond the infancy stage, so parang second level na. When you talk about the acceptance of how people use the services of tech startups here in Cebu, it really depends on the kind of product that you have. I mean, there's really so many talents here. It's just that most of them are working with, say, companies abroad, and not too many are starting to serve the local market, or some of those are doing hybrid. I think Philippine Startup Week, IdeaSpace, Kubo, and other accelerators in the country have done a lot of influencing in terms of how the tech startup scene will be like here in Cebu. So OMG was part of Startup Island, which was launched by the Region 7 DTI office. And it was through that where OMG was also able to receive a lot of training from, say, in terms of understanding the business model better, fine-tuning things, the processes, and getting some coaching for how pitching is going to be done. And I think it's already on its 5th year. So we're just happy that there's a growing acceptance in terms of the technology that's being created by local tech startups, and more people are getting involved, and more stakeholders, like say from the academe, the government, all these things, and hopefully IdeaSpace and Cuba will also open a location here in office. So that might also encourage more techpreneurs, if you would call it that, to get on board and join or start something.
Yeah, actually that would really be nice, ano. Actually meron din naman mga DOST TBIs, I think, sa Cebu, or actually all around Visayas even. So parang it's a teamwork eh. Parang the ecosystem builds, the people builds, and then the people din naman yung bubuo ng mga startup. So parang continuous feedback siya, continuous cycle siya na tulungan ng parts na to ng ecosystem. I just want to ask about this particular question na I got from Actually I forgot which episode, pero they said that for example in Cebu, is there there's these apps like maybe Grab or Uber sa Cebu na parang they possibly help din sa pag-accept ng mga tao ng technology. So do you think it parang helps then the acceptance of people with startups like Oh My Genie? Parang my question is parang basically, how do you think is Oh My Genie getting affected by like this other technology apps?
Well, for one, in terms of like say providing some awareness that such services exist, they've done such a huge positive influence that these kind of services are available through your mobile phone or through a website. How it affects actually, I believe that it's like it's also complementary. We're able to put our name out there and get compared, in fact, right, by these bigger players, and we look at them as a company, as companies that we would, for one, emulate to grow in terms of like size or how you're able to grow beyond your home country. But second, had it not been for them, also we would probably not created the focus on the AI. Yeah, you never have to make enemies. It's always about being able to come up with strategies where you can collaborate and complement each other's services.
Yeah. I very much agree. No, it's less of disruption. It's less of competition. It's more of cooperation. Parang really pivoting to find your own niche, to find your own contribution, to find your own value. And maybe nga AI and genies kasi iba yung approach nito eh. So maybe that's really how you are entering the market kumbaga in Cebu. Yeah, what do you have to say?
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, I was just really agreeing to what you're saying.
Just think of this. Do you have any plans to go beyond Cebu?
Going beyond Cebu, we are doing it because we're basically borderless, right? So we actually have corporate clients outside of Cebu. And the focus is going to expand Visayas Mindanao. We have existing partnerships with major retail brands, and we're also looking into partnering with retailers, right? In smaller groups instead of the shopping malls, etc. And the MSMEs, of course. So the focus will be Visayas Mindanao initially, but if there will be opportunities to expand in Luzon, which we may have had already in the past years, talks have been already done. So we might be able to revisit that. But going outside of Cebu, in fact, outside of the country, we were already invited to get assessed by DTI Philippines, if how possible it would be for us to go at the ASEAN market. So, yeah, potential is there.
Maybe question lang. Do you think it will be easy or hard to replicate parang the success in Cebu to maybe Luzon or maybe to the ASEAN market? Parang what are like the differences or maybe challenges na maaari yung or parang you're anticipating to face? Parang kumbaga in the strategic wise thinking. So parang what do you think about this?
When we were actually doing the series of workshops with DTI and all these venture capital firms that operate in the Southeast Asian region, you can have a technology, you can have a product, but if the market is not ready for you in terms of their need and the way they do things culturally, those are very two interesting factors how you can succeed outside. But we've also identified how the pros are heavier compared to the cons, and at least the numbers never lie. We see that there will be really good potential for OMG to work outside the country, especially in the ASEAN region, because there were so many similarities on the problem that we have here in the Philippines and other archipelagic countries outside, or our neighbors for that matter.
Yeah, it's true. Now that I think about it, maybe very helpful or magiging successful ang ganitong klaseng technology. Like with countries or with cities na napaka-traffic, for example. And second, with the lifestyle and culture of the society of the people living in that city. Kasi for example, hindi naman, kumbaga, maybe meron parang community marketplaces. Sobrang lapit lang nung bilihan sa mga bahay. So maybe hindi rin ganun kumbaga, there's no value really. No? So maybe parang yung pinaka dapat ma-pinpoint is yung mga same culture, same lifestyle na stay at home, tapos malayo yung mga supermarket, and then ito yung home, ito yung work, and then hindi na kailangan bumiyahe, kumbaga, ano.
Well, that's for the case of like, say, more open spaces or residential areas, right? In the case of urban setting naman, like what you said, if it's congested, it's hard to go from one point to another. Even coming down from a building and staying, wait for the elevator, that's another 20 minutes, or can eat up like half an hour, etc. So these are some problems that are true, and that's why in NCR it's something that people really get, or it's a service that they really use.
Yeah, so maybe sa mga congested, it's true about the elevator. Usually nga sa like in Metro Manila, lalabas ka na ng parking, it will take you 1 hour, 2 hours, grabe
Yeah.
napakatagal. So hindi na lang ako magdadala ng kotse, para I will just walk maybe to my workplace, and then the genies can help me for buying the things that I need.
Okay, Johnny, the more critical part of what the Oh My Genie ultra fast technology is going to be is that we will be able to hyper localize our fulfillment process. In the Visayas and Mindanao regions, it takes about 10 to 14 business days for products to arrive. This would be the reason why and how you're able to get the grant from DOST. Kasi nga, there's such a huge market here, investment that's untapped. It's not that people don't have the money here. So retail brands, if you're listening right now, you should talk to Oh My Genie. Because there's a 1 trillion loss, right? As mentioned earlier during the time when you were saying in the introduction. These are abandoned cards. And the reason why they're abandoning their cards is because of the long wait. Who wants to wait, right?
Gets.
Yeah, so that's the problem we are fixing here. And we realize that this impact is going to help so many people, and maybe even move different markets within the country. And that's a lot of money. I mean, that's some serious loss that we should address. And we're very happy that we are working on it right now. So be on the lookout for the Oh My Genie Ultra Fast platform, which will be coming very soon. And this will provide Filipinos the ultra fast delivery service for their favorite retail brands instead of waiting for 10 to 14 days.
Yeah, it's a win-win actually, for those who want to buy, and also for the retail brand. For those who want to buy, it's ultra fast, and for those retail stores, retail brands, they will not lose their customers due to waiting in long lines. Wow, that's amazing. Thinking about the AI now. So how does AI really play into this? Can we just get the details? Parang ano yung tech of AI in all of this?
Well, primarily it will be the tool that will intelligently decide where to pull out a certain product that was ordered online. So, for example, you could be in Cebu right now, right, Johnny? And then you would go to a website where you need a laptop bag. And when you go on the website, instead of ordering the laptop bag, and we'll ask you if you're willing to wait for 10 to 14 days, I mean, what would be your reaction? So you're like, oh, wag na lang, I'm just going to go somewhere else and maybe do something else to acquire that laptop bag. But now that we will tell you, okay, wait for it in 30 minutes. So you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to try to even think twice to just go ahead and shop it, right? You might even be willing to pay a premium price for the service or the product itself. So that's how it's going to be. And who gets to decide that? It's the AI. Because you could be, instead of pulling out the product or your laptop bag from the warehouse in Batangas, for example, we'll just pull it out from a shopping mall near you, maybe within the 5-kilometer radius where you place the order, and we get it from there and deliver it to you.
Gets, wow. So it's like the supply chain and logistics aspect that you're trying to make intelligent. Parang kumbaga, imbes na magagaling pa sa malayong lugar, baka mayroon mas malapit na retailer or na wholesaler or the distributor or whatever.
Yeah.
And the genies will do this. Kumbaga, the genie the AI will tell the genie, and the genie will execute this.
Correct, that's right. Yeah, pick up the item from the store and then deliver it. Yeah.
So, gaano ba karami ang mga genie ng Oh My Genie? At sino ba ito mga genie na ito? I mean, how do you get these people or these genies?
Well, the team is about like mga 21 to 25, and then it's really the tools that we have that make everything easy. While once the order is placed, the store gets prompted what item to prepare. Well, the genie is able to pick it up and then hand it over to the delivery. There's a lot of orchestration and synchronicity that takes place to make all this work.
Yes, that's true. Ito Genie ba na ito ay naka-bike, naka-motor, or naglalakad lang or nag-commute?
Well, they float.
They float in the air.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends on the size of the deliveries, of course. I mean, it could be a motorbike, it could be a van, depending on. It's pretty much it. So, like what you said, we're very agnostic now in terms of working with companies. The goal is to really just make the customer happy.
Yes, but you're also partnered
Not
with.
their wish.
You're also partnered with this delivery or logistics companies.
Yeah, local logistics companies. We also work with international players that are present here in the market. Let's not just mention brands.
Yeah. So basically, Oh My Genie nga is parang synchronizing everything. Synchronizing all players in logistics, kumbaga, in Cebu right now. Pero maybe later in Luzon, Mindanao, and maybe
the
in
whole
the Sayan
country
market.
siguro in the next 2 years. as required.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, going back to the AI kasi, as long as we'll be able to collect already, between the first 12 months, the next 24 months, while the AI will be learning on how to assign products to which store it will be pulled out, it will be able to also synthesize the information, and then from there can already help our retailers on what products work in what place. Because you can have like a blue shirt, what I'm wearing right now, that really works in Cebu, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it will work in Davao. So let's overstock in Cebu and then maybe add more green shirts that work in Davao, at least based on the 2-year data, and then add more blue shirts in Cebu. So it makes more intelligent decisions in terms of like manufacturing, production, distribution.
And it's actually very big. Hindi lang siya logistics. Basically, ensuring din na may inventory, ensuring din na basic supply chain, inventory, logistics, distribution, lahat talaga, no? You're really trying to synchronize and to make intelligent para seamless, efficient, tsaka maybe maiwasan yung parang out of stock, maiwasan yung maghihintay na matagal for the people.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's
it's really
I'm
amazing.
glad that you're able to like picture it in your head. I'm not trying to do this.
Yeah, so for our final question, Enrique, thank you for really spending the time explaining to us about Oh My Genie.
Bilis ng oras, parang hindi 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's almost actually 33 minutes na. So actually, I really like this conversation. I'm also kasi
Daldal mo kasi, Johnny.
I mean, this is also like my interest personally as an industrial engineer, logistics, supply chain, inventory, warehousing, distribution. So it's really nice that you're working on this and especially using and adding AI. But what's really the vision of Oh My Genie into the future? Parang in 5 to 10 years, as we said earlier, no? What really do you see with the startup?
Yeah, we know that the 30-minute cities is really gonna happen. We know that people are going to want to spend more time in doing things that they enjoy. And now that more technology is available for people to make their jobs easier and done in shorter time, we would like to be part of paving the way and creating that. How we are doing it, we're actually working with so many stakeholders and parties. And in fact, we're very involved in the digitization of Cebu City, for example, in partnership, hopefully with the city government. And at least we're able to design our own city or the metroplex that we see. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt for me in in how I see the trends and how I'm seeing how things are being adopted by the younger generation. We will, there's really no other way. It's really going to happen. And the vision of Oh My Genie is to provide those technologies so that people are able to earn back their time, do away with what wastes their time of getting stuck in traffic or having to do the commute just to get the things that they need. They can be in their more preferred places. For me, example, I'd rather be at the beach, sailing, things like that. Baka pwede nang come the time in 20 years, meron ng drone delivery si Oh My Genie so that if I run out of butter and jam on the bread while having a nice drink on the boat, pwede nang magpa-deliver. Yeah. And we wish to make this happen because we're actually designing specific events in 2023 to show people how it's going to be done. Instead of being stuck in things like that can be ordered through OMG and delivered by OMG, they can join us maybe like through a rock climbing session in the city, or like a yoga meditation event. So we forget how to. I think we have forgotten how to enjoy life. I think the last 20 years, right? And you've seen how the pandemic or the lockdowns also tried to unlock, kumbaga, people's ideas about living a better quality life. So we would like to amplify that through OMG. Do something fun, do something that you love. Let the genies do the shopping and the delivery for you.
Yeah. First of all, I agree on that. Maybe there's no choice really into the future. It's really helping Cebu and hopefully the whole Philippines digitize and adapt to this new technology. And sana in the future, parang anywhere, kahit nasaan ka man, whatever you want, the genie can give you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maraming salamat, Enrique. This is a really wonderful conversation. I really enjoyed it, learning about everything that OMG is doing, and especially parang the principles, kumbaga, the thoughts that's coming into it. So, if our listeners want to know more about Oh My Genie, maybe from Cebu, pero all over the Philippines din, so how can they find more information? How can they get to know you more?
Well, again, thank you also, Johnny, for having us here on Podcast at PH, and to IdeaSpace Cuba for making this work. For those who would wish to get in touch with us, you can just type in on the search box on Facebook at Oh My Genie PH. You can find us there. If you would like to directly work with us, or if you have some inquiries, you may send an email to me directly. It's enrique.sanjuan@ohmygenie.ph.
Yes, maraming salamat. So it's really nice to know more about Oh My Genie, and I'm really amazed that especially also the brand, the Genie. So maraming salamat, Enrique. I really like this conversation. Salamat.
Thank you, Johnny. Dahan salamat.
Thank you very much to our 25 patrons. AskLex PH is our official e-learning partner. Get 5% discount on e-learning courses and certification programs on Lean Six Sigma, project management, data science, and many more using our promo code ALPHAXSUP. This episode is super powered by Pinoy IP Works, the intellectual property company advancing and protecting Filipino ideas. Packetworks, the leading enabler and only Internet of Things social enterprise in the Philippines. Looking for buy and sell online with Sigurado sellers. NutriCoach, the all-in-one productivity tool for dietitians and nutritionists. Benjoy's Food Products, the home of premium bacon ends, tapa, and tocino. And 8chain, an 8-in-1 cryptocurrency project building one chain at a time, starting with MaxRep Workout and Earn. This episode is powered by Tuala, Hive Energy PH, ePlayment, Interleukin, and ROC.ph. Support us and get your brand promoted using the links in the description below.